This is kind of where I'm going to here right now. Andrew Tate and I are speaking. And I'm sure you know who Andrew Tate is.
Mm-hmm.
Year and a half ago, he gets out of jail. I'm there, the first person to interview him. He had an issue with BBC. We're sitting there talking, and he says, when I was in jail, I decided to convert to being a Muslim, religion of Islam. Okay. Tell me why. I don't know if you know his reason or not. Have you heard his reason?
I have heard him articulate
And he
this.
says, you know when I was there, how many Christian friends of mine and fans wrote me a letter? None. Do you know how many Muslims wrote me a letter? I can't even tell you. And to me, when I saw that, boom. Okay. So while we're talking, I'm writing this thing down. And I'm writing why people convert, because I'm actually curious. So this wasn't prepared. I'm literally, when you're talking, I'm writing this stuff down while we're having a conversation. Why do people convert to Christianity or Muslim or Jehovah or Seventh Day or Mormonism or Scientology or whatever it may be, right? And I've been through all of these guys. I used to go debate Scientologists all the time to know what they're thinking about, right? In LA at their main Scientology center. So one is through your example, testimony, the way you live. Like you showed grace with Billy Carson. I walked away and I said, my son should watch this guy because men would benefit from having grace, especially when you can be a bully and you show grace. That's even more honorable. Right? When somebody knows how to fight and beat you up and they don't, and they say, look, it's just not a good idea. Look, can we not fight? And walks away. You know this guy can whoop this guy's tail, but he doesn't. That's grace. Good for you, right? Versus, God, let me go beat him up, show him the fact that I know Taekwondo or whatever. So to me, one is example testimony. Okay? Was that set there for Andrew? I don't know. Two, the actual content. What's in the book of Quran? What's in the book of, what's in the Bible? What's in the book of Moroni? What's in L. Ron Hubbard's, what's the book called? Dianetics, right? I've found in my experience, less than 10% of the time is the content because most people don't read the Bible. Most people don't read the whole book. It's the example, somebody in their lives. Third one I wrote down is disappointment, heartbreak, hurt. Hey, you hurt me. You weren't there. You're a Christian. And because of that, for the rest of my life, I'm going to be against you. Maybe Billy Carson. I don't know. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze. I'm just kind of watching maybe for myself, for yourself, for everybody. You had a great example. Your family, your background, you're coming from a place, organized, structure. A lot of people don't have that. They're coming from a different background. And the next one I wrote down is they were there for you. Hey, you have nobody for Thanksgiving? Come over.
Yeah. Hey,
what are you doing this Sunday? You got no, hey, come spend some time with us. We'll go to church together. Come with me to go to Mecca. Come with me to go to this. Come with me to go with that, right? So for somebody like Andrew Tate today, whose brother's still a Christian, by the way, Tristan is. And Andrew's been going through some challenging times right now because he announced he wants to run for Prime Minister of UK and all this other stuff. And, he's saying, if you're not for the British way, get out. If you're not for this, and indirectly he's calling out many of the things that's going on with the, Muslims in UK. The criticism isn't towards Christians or Jews or Scientologists or Catholics. It's a lot of criticism towards Muslims that they're getting. Going back to it, okay? Why isn't the church, the Christian church, the non-denominational church, even some of the other sects you put in it, why isn't it growing at the pace that Islam is?
Yeah, I think what we see globally is that we're seeing a shift in the demographics in that for a long time, the Western world was Christianized. Maybe it wasn't necessarily Christian, but it was Christianized. And I actually think we're seeing a shift statistically in that's moving to the global South. That if you look at the continents of Africa and Asia, that the church is growing at a rapid rate in those countries. And I think there are various reasons for that, but I think we are genuinely seeing that.
Can I give a rebuttal to that?
Sure.
Okay. So, again, I'm going to take you back to my example of running an insurance company. Somebody could say, well, look, yes, we're not growing in California, but I can tell you we're growing in Florida and we're growing in Texas and we're growing in Tennessee. That's because we were never in Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. We just moved into that market, right?
Sure.
So somebody may say, well, that's because we're just breaking into that market in Asia or in, South, whatever, Africa or some of these places, or even the Middle East. By the way, Christianity has grown in Iran in ways that most people don't know. The percentage is exponential in Iran that's grown. The stories I get and the testimonies, it's unbelievable when I see some of this data that comes back.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're saying that, because my main focus is really the West.
Yeah.
Because West is the one that's gotten a black eye. UK is West.
Sure.
Us, West.
Sure.
Canada, West.
Yeah.
Why do you think the West has taken a hit when it comes down to attendance, the church? Why do you think?
Yeah. I'm going to back up. I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to back up and say that to the kind of rebuttal of, well, we're introducing Christianity into those places. I would actually say that Christianity was there long before it was ever in the West, in that North Africa was where a lot of the major church historians come from. Apart from the Apostle Paul, you have individuals like Athanasius of Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who are Augustine. Saint Augustine was a North African. Like, some of the most prominent individuals within early church history were from the Middle East, were from Africa, and Christianity was in Asia and Africa long before it was anywhere remotely close to places like North America. And so I think what we're seeing actually is not an introduction, but the revival of a lot of those countries. So
I think that's a fair, and I think it could be both, right? Because some places it is a revival.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's revive, right? Let's get the attendance going again. Let's get excitement there again. But some of it is also because it was a smaller percentage of it there, right?
Sure.
In Iran, if you look at what percentage is Muslim, you will see a 98% number all over the place, right? If you go in Asia, you will see some high numbers as well. So I can see that part. Like, if you're going to go into Indonesia, I think Indonesia is 99%, if I'm not mistaken. It's some big number.
Yeah, we're the biggest Muslim country in the world.
Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.